hot, steamy night in St. Louis as interleague play rolls on in this 2013 campaign. The Houston Astros and the St. Louis Cardinals. They are known as the best fans in baseball. Remarkably, over the weekend, the Cardinals drew over 133,000 fans against Miami. Tonight, over 40,000 come through the turnstiles. Baseball in St. Louis. Been known for the greats that have worn the birds on the bat. Many ways defined by the grace and greatness of a gentleman that wore number 6. Baseball in St. Louis known as well for winning. Well, they add another banner to that row in 2013. They're on their way this year with 53 wins. And welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. That's Al Hrabosky, the Mad Hungarian. I'm Dan McLaughlin. We have the auction. We'll be talking about that throughout our telecast here tonight, hopefully raising thousands of dollars for Cardinals care. But we also have baseball between the white lines, and the Cardinals face an old buddy in Bud Norris.
Oh, let's talk about the auction. But no, we'll have fun with that, but we'll also have a baseball game. And as you said, last time we matched up a 2-game series with Houston. We split that 2-game series, so don't take them lightly, especially with Bud Norris on the mound.
And Adam Wainwright getting the start for St. Louis, the ace of this staff. Waino going for the Cardinals. Bud Norris for Houston. It's the Cardinals and Astros coming up. Norris and the Astros. Alan Craig will bat cleanup, stretching, getting loose as we edge closer to baseball tonight. The All-Stars of the Cardinals on display. Adam Wainwright getting the start. Carlos Beltran is in the lineup. The Cardinals, the Astros, coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. /TV auction, or give us a call at 314-345-9418 and a chance to bid on some unique one-of-a-kind experiences. The first one we tell you about of 6, the Mike Matheny VIP experience. You'll meet Mike, go in his office, watch him meet with the media, then head out onto the field, watch BP. That's for a mutually agreed-upon date. How about a private dinner with a Hall of Famer, one of the All-Century players? That's Lou Brock, an exclusive experience for 2 people. This is really a sensational deal. You get 2 field box tickets. You head over to Chemo's with Lou Brock and his wife Jackie. That also a mutually agreed-upon date. Catch on the field with Cardinals starter Shelby Miller. All 4 attendees receive an autographed baseball from Shelby. Also, you'll tour the Cardinals clubhouse. This is for a mutually agreed-upon date. It also includes 4 field box tickets. Our very own Jim Edmonds in Fox Sports Midwest, we've gotten in the act as well. Exclusive access, joining Jim on set for Fox Sports Midwest pregame show. Then you'll shadow Jim Hayes on the field for BP. Spend the game in a private room on the broadcast level. That includes all your food and beverages. Jim Edmonds will stop on by as well. That's for the game against the Atlanta Braves on August 22nd. Meanwhile, we have another Hall of Fame experience. Whitey Herzog will include the TV experience with this as well. Visit the TV broadcast booth during the game, 2 innings there. Meet the broadcasters. Also, head downstairs into the production truck during the pregame and see how that's done. Unique experience. That is Tuesday, August 6th against the LA Dodgers. Finally, the ultimate game day experience. This is a very cool experience. Exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of Busch Stadium. You'll be a member of the grounds crew, be a part of Team Fredbird, public address announcer for a half inning. Spend a half inning in the Rick Hummel, Bob Bragg press box. Dinner for 4 in the Cardinals Club, VIP parking, 4 field box tickets, and that's when the Pittsburgh Pirates are in St. Louis in that battle for the NL Central. So you'll be hearing about these experiences all night long. Now Jim Hayes down on the field joins us. And, Jim, this should be a really special night for the fans.
Really once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, Dan, up for auction tonight. And all for Cardinals Care, which does such a great job helping out deserving local youngsters. I'm going to be down here by the big tote board updating the bids and reminding folks about the great packages we have to offer. A couple of reminders now. The bidding ends at the end of the 7th inning. And the number to call if you'd like to bid on something, 314-345-9418. The Cardinals getting ready to face the Astros. Cardinals baseball coming up on Fox Sports Midwest.
And our crew, Fox Sports Midwest. Adam Wainwright taking to the hill. And he's part of our Toyota Keys to the game tonight.
Well, Adam Wainwright, just if he has command of the strike zone, then these young hitters are going to be guessing. Curveball, cutter, changeup. Is it going to be the fastball, two-seamer, four-seamer? And the Cardinal hitters, they need to swing at strikes. We've seen a lot of times early in Bud Norris's career, they really chase the high fastball or the slider out of the strike zone. Cardinals have had more success against him lately.
Take a look at this Houston lineup that he'll face. The Astros come in 32-57, 20.5 games out. Altuve, Wallace, the former Cardinal, then Castro. It's Martinez, Pena, Kraus, Barnes, Cedeno, and Norris. Jason Castro, the all-star this year for Houston. Around the horn, brought to you by Dobbs. Holiday, Jay, and Beltran in the outfield. Freeze, Descalso on the left side of the infield. Carpenter and Craig on the right side. Good to see Yachty back in there. He'll catch tonight. And Adam Wainwright, your home starter, is brought to you by Kia.
His first start against Houston, and that is his favorite opponent. He has 12 victories against them, and he has the lowest ERA, 1.58 in his career against the Astros.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or log on to stlchevy.com. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake, just no equal. So here we go.
Hope the money's going that quick.
Altuve looks at a strike and we're underway. It's just a brief 2-game set. Houston and St. Louis, longtime foes in the National League Central Division. They're trying to rebuild now in the American League. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
And it's always my experience when you have a team like the Astros, they have some talent here, but they're obviously in a rebuilding phase, and it's going to take a few years. But if you can get on top of them, then they look forward to tomorrow. So get a lead and then keep on adding on.
2 pitches, 2 strikes. The 0-2. Altuve shoots it foul out of play. He's hitting .283. 3 home runs, 27 RBIs. Bo Porter, youngest manager in the game today. Former player in the big leagues, third base coach with Washington last year, and now, knowing this is a rebuilding project, took the job with Houston. Curveball is hit to third. David Freese steps, throws one away. The bids are already rolling in, and the bidding will close the 7th inning. Minimum bid increase of $100. Again, go to Cardinals.com, and you can head to Cardinals.com/TV auction, and you can make that bid happen. Also, give us a call at 345-9418. You'll see those descriptions on the website. Some great things to give away. Here's Brett Wallace, who takes a ball inside. Wallace hitting .180, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Astros have not been hitting, but this guy has as of late.
Yeah, a lot better since they brought him back. It's hard to say that when your guy's batting .180 for the year, but it is very true the way he is swinging the bat right now. He's hit .270. .341 on base percentage, scored 8 runs while collecting 3 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs in his last 11 games.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. A's and Pirates at PNC Park tonight. They're in a rain delay, and the Cardinals actually start play despite the fact they didn't play last night. Half game in front of Pittsburgh. That swung on and missed. The cutter by Waino. The Reds losing in dramatic fashion yesterday. Joey Votto thinks he has a home run. Carlos Gomez in Milwaukee goes back, pulls it back in center field over the wall. That's how the game ends. Big breaking ball, tap foul.
Always fun when you have an off day, and during the course of that day off, when you enjoy yourself, then you come back and look at the paper and you're in first place.
Say, well, things are going pretty well for us.
But you got to keep on winning yourself. Cardinals hope to have a little success right here and propel them right into the not only the All-Star break but the second half.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Just got a piece. Cardinals have some news to tell you about. Some of that happened within the last half hour. There's Rob Johnson. Ty Wigginton was released earlier today, so the Cardinals will swallow the remaining numbers on those the contract. It was $5 million 2 years for Wigginton, and Rob Johnson is called up. This is hit to short. Descalso makes the play. There's 2 away. Cardinals also, within the last half hour, it was announced, have traded Mitchell Boggs to the Colorado Rockies, and they get the international signing slot number 4. I find that incredibly interesting, as this is Castro, the All-Star this year for Houston. More teams are doing that. You're not seeing the player to be named later. You're seeing the international slot.
Yeah, and we need to study up on that. You got a better explanation what it is? It's the money really to sign an international player.
Basically, that's what it is. Yeah.
So, but you say that's valuable.
Descalso is there. Another ground ball. Moves to his left, and Castro is the third and final out here at the top of the first. Cardinals coming up. Big crowd tonight. Glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Midwest. Things off. He's hitting .316. Then Carlos Beltran and Matt Holliday. The cleanup man is Alan Craig. What a season he's had. He's second in the National League in RBIs. Good to see Yadier Molina back in the lineup, leading the league in hitting at .346. Then it's David Freese, Daniel Descalso, John Jay, and the pitcher Adam Wainwright. Astros defense brought to you by Dobbs. 68 errors this year for Houston. That's tied for the most in Major League Baseball. And the battery tonight, Bud Norris, a nemesis for the Cardinals for a number of years, along with Jason Castro behind the plate. Bud Norris, what is it about him, Al, that makes him so good?
Well, the one thing about it is he made his Major League debut against the Cardinals, and then for a few years he was Cy Young against the Redbirds. It seemed like then he was throwing 95. He elevated the ball, and a lot of hitters chased it. But it was also his slider that a lot of guys were just swinging at out of the strike zone, getting themselves out. But as you said, the worm has turned a little bit, and the Cardinals have had a lot of success against him. Not a lot, but they've had more success against him. He really does a good job. He'll go deep in this ball game. You expect him to go 6+ innings, give his team a chance to win. So hopefully we can get him going right now.
Look at his numbers, too. This is now in the American League. They have an ERA just over 3. That's impressive.
Yes.
And a team that, as we just showed you, does not catch and throw all that well. And yet he's nearly 500. 6-7 coming into play tonight.
And Dan, just to give you an idea, we committed 38 errors. Astros 68.
Strike 2. Carpenter leads the club in multi-hit games. Also leads the league in that department, as well as runs scored. 3rd in hits, 7th overall in average.
Matt hasn't figured out things against Bud Norris. He's 1 for 12. In this lineup, really, Yadier Molina, a .211 hitter against him, 8 for 38, and Matt have had the most trouble.
Line drive, and that drops in for a base hit, and the Cardinal leadoff man is on. 107 hits and counting before the All-Star break for Matt Carpenter. Let's take a look at Chevy Fox Tracks.
Now 2 for 13, but you see this ball is down. It's a good pitch. Most standards, you would say that's a good pitch down and away, but Matt Carpenter having an exceptional year. He gets that leadoff hitter. Beltran, another All-Star. He's 7 for 21 with 5 doubles against Bud Norris. Strike early.
He is overall 5th in home runs with 19, 11th in RBIs. In the air out to left. Over to get it. Kraus makes the catch. Carpenter back to the bag at first, and there's one away. Saw the Cardinals really change how they went after Tony Fernandez in the start on Sunday, and the idea was swing early, and that seemed to work. You wonder if that'll be the same idea that they want to approach Bud Norris with here today.
Well, a lot of times, you know, you come up with that theory that pitchers, first pitch they throw, they want to get ahead and strike. So it may be the lollipop of the series. But I think Bud Norris has a little more confidence in his changeup and breaking ball.
Here's Holiday. Put his name on the Albert Pujols tournament and was part of that yesterday. The chairman of that tournament, and raised a bunch of money for the Albert Pujols Family Foundation. And you were there, right?
I was out there.
How'd it go?
Personally, it was fun. I had a good team. They carried me again. It was my first golf outing since my last surgery. So, and I survived. So look out.
As much as I want to talk about you, Al, because it is all about you.
Thank you.
The event itself was a good one, I assume?
It really was.
Great. Albert was there?
Albert was there. Mike Trout was there. No Shuck was there. A lot of the Jake Long. Bob Bishop from the Blues.
Holiday with a high fly ball. Lifted out to deep left. Will it carry out of here? It's at the wall and goodbye. Holiday and the Cardinals go on top here in the first. 13th home run. Back-to-back games for Holiday as he takes them deep. 2-0 here in the first.
That's the third home run he's hit off of Bud Norris. Like I said, early in his career, Norris really had the Cardinals number, but lately the Cardinals are getting pretty good whacks at him. That is only the 8th home run that Norris has allowed this year, and Matt can hit him against anyone.
Plaza Tire Service replay. He hung this breaking ball.
Yeah, big difference when it's hanging up like that. Guy underneath it just had enough to hit the first row. Krause, he thought about climbing up there, but came up empty.
That was an 0-2 pitch. Mistake there by Bud Norris. You see the hit speed. And here is Alan Craig, third in the league now in hitting at 325. He's second overall in RBIs. He has 69, 5 back of Paul Goldschmidt of Arizona.
Coming in, Holiday had 2 home runs against Norris, same as Alan Craig. Maybe we can go back to back.
That was not a typical Matt Holiday home run. Usually those are just the line shots that carry out of the ballpark. That time the high arcing home run.
And it was the hanging pitch, so he got underneath it a little bit, hit it high in the air instead of a line drive that just carries out.
We saw that on Sunday. Put one onto the hill in center. Fastball this time on 0-2 and misses high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Craig. Cardinals have the league's leading hitter in Molina at 346. He's on deck. Second, Michael Kadire. And then third, Alan Craig at the plate. Good to see Yachty back in there.
Some people might be a little bit surprised that Yachty is back.
You can put me in that group.
Well, and I got a better explanation, not only from Mike Matheny, but also John Mozeliak. It was his knee problems is not really injury. It was just more of, Mother Nature saying, hey, be cautious with it. You're going to need a little more rest. It was just more from stress rather than injury. So they're going to be very careful with it.
Center field, and the catch is made by Barnes. And the reason, Al, I was a little bit surprised is Yachty will dig in is that because of that, the stress that you put on the knee, you think on paper it's Houston, maybe give him a couple more days and maybe even a week with Chicago.
I agree with you. Coming in, that's exactly the way I thought. Cardinals played this weekend basically with just one catcher, Yachty not available. And you talk about the Wigginton trade, he was the emergency catcher, but you really didn't want to use him. But John Mozeliak said that Wigginton trade or release was in the works. It was going to happen whether Yachty got hurt or not.
It really gives you a chance to try to get Cruz some at bats and allow him to show more than just being a backup catcher too.
Mike Matheny made that point. There were several times he wanted to use Tony Cruz as a pinch hitter, but felt he didn't have that luxury. Now he will have that luxury. He also said that Rob Johnson early in his career was a was a big prospect, an offensive player that, maybe there'll be times that he will be used as a pinch hitter.
He hasn't hit all that well this year.
And there'll be times because they're going to give more rest to Yachty to protect that knee, especially as it heats up and it's hot. But, they're going to give him a little protection, and there will be times when Yachty will be the right-handed pinch hitter coming off the bench.
Want to keep his bat in the lineup, and you also have the versatility of Molina to be able to play first base. I'm sure we'd see that sometimes in the second half as well.
You can do those things if you're carrying that third catcher. How long they'll do it, you don't know.
Jammed him. Back to Norris. Bobbles it, then underhands it to first, and they get Molina. Matt Holliday, high, towering shot off his bat. An 0-2 mistake here by Bud Norris, and with that, a 2-run lead for St. Louis. Second Holliday, a 2-run shot. We head over to Auction Central. That's where we find Jim Hayes. And Jim, the first of our items up there at the top of that list behind you on your left is Mike Matheny's VIP experience.
Yeah, and the current bid is $10,700. Keep in mind, it's all for Cardinals care. Let me tell you about the Mike Matheny VIP experience. You get a pregame meet and greet with the Cardinals skipper. You get to watch Mike Matheny's pregame meeting with the media. You get to discuss strategy and starting lineup with the Cardinal manager. You get to watch batting practice from a VIP area behind home plate, dinner for four at the Cardinals Club, VIP parking, field box tickets. You get 2 rooms at the Hyatt. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and again, it's for a worthy cause. Cardinal Care. The number 314-345-9418. Dan, the current bid is $10,700, guys.
Well, Jim, let me ask you: can a fan decide when they want to take Wainwright out of the game?
That's a great discussion to have with Mike Matheny. They've had that kind of discussion before. I think they should just leave it to those two, but I think suggestions are probably always welcome, Dan.
All right. Thank you, Jim. And again, Cardinals.com/TV auction, 345-9418. Here's J.D. Martinez reaching for it. Wainwright makes the play, 1 away. Even Mike said after the previous start against the Angels, after he had a chance to kind of sit on it, think about it, review it, he said that was one that maybe you go back and look, it's a game of second guessing.
Oh, sure.
I mean, and that's clear. But even those that make the decision, the ultimate decision, surely between the ears they say, was it the right move? Should I have kept him in there? Do I bring in a lefty? All those things came into play in that inning.
Remember what I say all the time. Manager's decision is predicated on the outcome of the players, whether it's good or bad and different. And that makes it tough. That's one of the things you got to learn is make a decision and stand by it.
Strike to Carlos Pena.
Tight breaking ball there.
Some, though, have a bigger leash than others, and you would think that Wainwright would have that leash. Now the innings are starting to pile up for Wainwright. He threw a ton of innings a year ago, coming off surgery, first year removed. And his current pace right now, he will throw more than any other pitcher since 2003. That's the pace that he's on right now.
Yeah, but think about the fact, too. Yeah, he's coming off the surgery, and he was ahead of schedule. Covering in and pitching at 13 months post-surgery. But he's 6'7", 235. It's not like he's, 21 years of age, trying to protect a Shelby Miller or a Strasburg or something like that. He knows his body, and he takes great care of that body and really prepares between starts.
First strikeout of the night for Wainwright. He looks sharp tonight. 5 up, 5 down.
I mentioned his career numbers are unbelievable against Houston. 12-1 and a 1.58 ERA. This is his first time facing them. And remember, last year he was 3-0 against Houston. So all he has to do is have the command that he normally possesses And then he can be, have these young guys eating out of the palm of his hand, because he can throw any of his pitches for strikes.
We hear the name of Bud Norris, and all of a sudden we think, uh-oh. What do you think they're thinking when they hear Wainwright?
I think it's a little bit,
yeah,
a little bit worse.
Should mention that even if you just want to donate to Cardinals Care, you don't want to purchase one of the experiences that is there for you, any amount will be taken. Any amount. You just want to make a donation. Cardinals.com/TV auction. Also, should remind folks for the Hall of Fame weekend, which has got the Ozzie bobblehead, Red Shandy's 1940s jersey, the Stan the Man statue. Between now and midnight, if you purchase a ticket, $5 of that ticket will go to Cardinals Care. So everyone within the organization, fans included, getting in the act, and I know the players have donated an awful lot of their time as well.
Remember, too, what Cardinals Care does in our community. It's an awful lot of work. All children charities are eligible for grants. So it's not just building the fields for our youth around the area to play baseball. There's every children's charity is receiving grants for many, many years, hundreds, millions of dollars now.
And a rare walk by Adam Wainwright, 2-out walk to Mark Krause, the left fielder, and it brings in Brandon Barnes.
It's only his 14th walk, and he's over 135 innings now.
Nearly $20 million has been raised by Cardinals Care, and it goes to helping children. That's the idea, helping kids in our community. There's a look at those bids. Whitey Herzog experience, need to get that going. Also head down to the TV truck with that. There's a fastball and a strike to Brandon Barnes. The guys in the truck will actually pay you to come visit them.
That is a unique experience, seeing what happens in the truck.
I think people would walk away amazed.
We get on the air.
And just floored by everything that goes into putting a game together at the major league level. $25 people minimum, 10 cameras. Going to the count on Brandon Barnes. Center fielder's hitting 247.
It's camera number 4.
That's Kenny, and I think we need to wake him up.
Kenny's wake. No way. He's ready. Got the best crew in town.
Here's the 0-2. Really took something off that breaking ball at 76 miles an hour. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Waino. Good hometown grocer. Go big at a Jack in the Box near you with Jack's new Big Stack Burger. And by 5-hour energy shots. David Freese, Daniel Descalso, and John Jay for the Cardinals here in the home half of the second. Cardinals will wrap up the first half with the first of 4 against Chicago. That'll be on Thursday night, then the day games on Friday and Saturday, then Sunday night baseball. After that, the Cardinals have 30. That's it, 30 road games remaining.
Said all along, it seemed like the first half we've been on the road, and they're going to play a lot better at home.
There's a ground ball and a base hit into left center. David Freese has the 3rd Cardinal hit.
Maybe they are going to look for that first fastball and then take it up the middle. David Freese now 5 for 16 off of Bud Norris.
Daniel Descalso seeing the majority the playing time at shortstop this past week, and he has earned that time. Cosmo's been in a funk, and Daniel has swung the bat well. He's a 300 hitter when he starts.
And I think it's a combination of things. You know, remember, Cosmo did sit out 3 games, and Descalso played very well. Cosmo was 0 for 2 on Sunday. Still has his little rut. I believe it's 0 for 19 now. But Daniel has good numbers against Bud Norris, and Cosmo does not.
Busy day here at the ballpark with the auction happening tonight. The trade of Mitchell Boggs to the Colorado Rockies. Release of Ty Wigginton. I wonder how many scouts are taking a hard look at that man right there. In Bud Norris. Michael Gersh on the left, John Mozeliak on the right. Michael is the assistant GM who was found by John Mozeliak as a guy that was doing a ton of research and analyzing businesses. He's very well educated, very bright guy. Wrote to Mo about some theories he had in baseball, and Mo said, I like these, and actually hired him. Daniel rips it into right field. Oh, it's misplayed and right by Martinez. Freese on his way to third. And Descalso is in with a double and a gift.
Daniel hit that ball very well, but you're absolutely right. J.D. Martinez, he misplayed it. The tough line drive right at you. You almost, if you're to the left or right of you, you can see. But here he made the fatal mistake, couple steps in, then it gets over his head. Daniel, by the way, was 6 for 18 with a home run off of Bud Norris. And now he has a double and a good scoring opportunity for John Jay.
So runners at second and third. 8th place hitter is Jay, and then you have Wainwright.
Ronnie Cedeno comes in to talk to Bud Norris. Ronnie was in spring training with the Cardinals. Got released late in spring and picked up by Houston, who's gotten a lot of playing time.
Going back to Mitchell Boggs, Al, I think it's just a situation where point blank wasn't going to happen here this year, maybe ever. Just needs a change of scenery.
Yeah, and I think, you know, John Mozeliak was sympathetic to that. I mean, we all like Mitchell Boggs. And sometimes a change of scenery is the best thing for his career. As you said, probably wasn't going to happen. Wouldn't be back with the club this year.
It's hard to imagine that came to this point with Boggs after having statistically a historically great year for the Cardinals as a setup man.
Yeah, you also made the point earlier. 1 year ago at this time, before the trade deadline, there's not one reliever currently in that bullpen that was here last year, and that's hard to imagine when you're talking about a team that was 1 game, 1 win away from the World Series.
And Mitchell was a huge part of it.
Jason Mott obviously was the closer. He's out with a Tommy John. Mitchell Boggs was the 8th inning man, set a franchise record, and led the National League in holds. Mojica didn't come until after the trade deadline, and he saved us last year and this year.
2 balls and no strikes, and Boggs through all his struggles, and there were some very tough games. The one that stands out for me, the game against Kansas City and Francoeur, the home run, and then we had the long rain delay after he was trying to really come back and just reestablish himself, but always was available to talk afterwards, made himself available, took his medicine, so to speak, and did it with class. And I was around Mitchell on caravans last season's Cardinals cruise, and he was great with the fans, so I wish him nothing but the best. And if he's not injured, there's nothing to think that he can't get back right in the right situation.
And I'm sure that's what the Rockies are hoping for.
Bases loaded. Let's check in with Jim Hayes over at Auction Central. Jimmy.
What could be better than a private dinner with Hall of Famer Lou Brock? The bid right now, $3,600. We can do better than that. You get not only dinner with Lou, you get chauffeur service in a car that was specially built for Lou Brock. You get dinner at Keimo's, one of the finest restaurants in St. Louis. It has the great view. And you get 2 field box tickets. Current bid $3,600. We can do better. The number 314-345-9418. Dan.
Matter of fact, it is, Jim, the 1973 Blackhawk built specifically for Lou.
That was Lou. That car was built because that was the year that we thought that he was going to be the MVP.
Strike one on Wainwright. 4 field box seats, mutually agreed upon date. Rather, 2 field box seats, mutually agreed upon date. Dinner with Lou Brock and his wife Jackie, all-century player Lou Brock.
And of course, Keimo's, where my daughter Nikki is going to be married, and we'll have a reception up on the 40th floor. Presided over by Lou and Jackie Brock, both ordained ministers.
You're just trying
so
to get
know that is the finest restaurant in town.
Trying to get that bill to come down a little lower, Al.
I'll
Good
be
work.
talking about Keimo's for quite a while.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Adam Wainwright with the bases loaded. Nobody out. By the way, I don't blame you.
And you're going to be there too.
You bet. The strikeout of Adam Wainwright. So the first man retired. 6 is a serious number. Cardinals score 6. You can score any size coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just 50 cents the next day at On the Run. While you're there, be sure to stop by On the Way Cafe. Breakfast, biscuits, hot dogs, sandwiches, and more only at On the Run. Here's Carpenter. Hit a line drive into left center and scored on the 2-run homer by Matt Holliday in the first. Bases loaded, and Carpenter has been sensational in this spot this year with the bases loaded.
Just this year, or in his career, 667 with 20 RBIs with the bases loaded. And he hadn't had that many opportunities. Still looking for his first slam.
One ball and one strike. Big gap in right center field. One ball, one strike, and now 1-2. Cincinnati and Milwaukee in the top of the third. There's no score.
Gotta be careful. You gotta keep from chasing that ball that's up and out of the strike zone.
After that pitch, Carpenter asking the home plate umpire if indeed it was a strike. It was not, said Mark Wegner. So he chased the ball 1-2. Carpenter, little flare out to left, plenty deep for the runners to tag up. One at least. That's David Freese to make it 3-0. He scores, and the RBI for Carpenter. That's number 38.
That situation, you got to get at least one, and Carpenter does a good job. Said drives in his 38th run, and now did Norris hurt himself? Got the trainer running out along with the manager to check on Bud Norris. Brett Wallace, third baseman, came over. See if it's a lower leg or a back issue. Something there when he landed. look at the sac fly and then watch when he comes through. And then he kind of jumps off that left ankle. Either way, Houston would never want to see him get hurt right now, whether they're looking to trade him or just keep him.
What's it say about what you think of your team, number one, and where it might be in 2 or 3 years if you trade away Bud Norris? I mean, he still could be a piece in 2 or 3 years on a contending club that could be a number 2 or a number 3.
It's a fine line. I think you have to see what the value is for all your players, but as you said, he's young enough that maybe he becomes part of your team and one of your real leaders, because you're going to have some veterans down the road. Games under 500, but as you said, they're the team that is buried right now and rebuilding. He's only one game under 500 this year.
Norris should be out of this inning. It was a misplay in right off the bat of Daniel Descalso, led to a double. Now there's 2 outs and 2 on, and Beltran again on the first pitch, just like in his first at bat, hits it out of play. He's now an 8-time All-Star. All-Star back in 2004, his first time, and again here in 2013. Won the Silver Slugger twice, Gold Glover 3 times. What a career it's been for Carlos Beltran.
Norris had his 28th birthday in March, so they're basically on a 5-year plan, right? Year 2 of a 5-year plan, so it still wouldn't be so bad.
Missouri Lottery with that nasty pitch.
Saw a lot of right-handed batters years past swing at that breaking ball down the way, but there he even gets an 8-time All-Star. Carlos Beltran to swing over the top of him.
Notice that he's running a lot better at an outstanding play in right field in the 9th inning on Sunday. Also stole home on the outside corner, 95, and painting the black. Nasty pitch again. Second strikeout for Bud Norris.
We want to tell you about the third package we are auctioning off to benefit Cardinal Care. It's a catch with Shelby Miller. This is for 4 people, including someone 15 and under, that will actually get to have a catch with a young rising star, Shelby Miller, on the field. It also includes 4 autographed baseball, a personalized clubhouse tour with Shelby, and 4 field boxes. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, all to benefit Cardinal Care. The number 345-9418, 314 area code 345-9418. The bid currently $2,600. Dan, we can do better than that, I think.
Oh yeah, and it will before the night is through. And again, the website, cardinals.com/TV auction, and the number 314-345-9418. And even if you cannot bid on one of those experiences, we invite you to make a donation, any size, greatly appreciated. Shelby Miller donating that catch, all to help out Cardinals Care. Here's Ronnie Cedeno. We thought he might be the everyday shortstop for the Cardinals. Released for Kyle Dunn for the year. And so now it's Cosma, Descalso, and Ryan Jackson, who's actually put up some pretty good numbers down at AAA.
And Ronnie just never got on track in spring training, and I think the Cardinals decided they had better options. You'd have to say that they made the wise decision.
2-2 the count. Only base runner was Mark Krause back in the 2nd inning. That was a walk with 2 outs by Wainwright. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, and a strikeout of Cedeno. Third strikeout for Adam Wainwright. By the way, Lou Brock is texted in, and he said the car,
it's a Stutz Bearcat,
that the folks will be taking in is the car of his 3,000th hit, and also the night he stole is 105 for Lou Brock. Wanted fans to know that. So he drove that car the night of hit number 3,000, also famous stolen base of 105. So you'll be driving in history, if you will.
Driving in history, just being with Lou.
You got it, Al. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Cutter misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Dan, I was a nice mama's boy, and I met Lou and Gibby, Shannon.
Remember
Carver.
now, Reverend Jackie is probably listening and watching too, Al.
Tori.
Let's get some different names. Deep in the hole. Long throw and safe. And again, Norris is limping. So the first base hit off the bat of the pitcher, Bud Norris.
And Daniel Scalzo, when he went to plant, he slipped at the edge of the grass, and that's why the throw was a little offline. And I'm sure Norris, for the second time, the trainer's attending to him. Dave Clark, first base coach, is probably saying, you know, is it worth it? But see, once he went to set, his feet slipped a little bit. That forces the low throw. Allen couldn't hold on, and then once again, it's that left ankle. This time as he turned the right one, but look, he's limping on the left one. See it here. Why don't you put that left ankle down, and then he grabs it. Lifts it up. Anyway, I met all those great teammates. They corrupted me, and I've been thanking them ever since.
I bet. So 1 out, infield hit for Bud Norris. I don't know, Al, you're Houston Astros, and you're 32 and 57, and pretty important guy standing at first base. If he's limping around, you're not going anywhere. I'm not sure you really want to push it.
Well, it's the same token, you know, if a guy says he wants to stay out there, wants to have that football mentality. Well, Porter knows about that. He was a pretty good football player at Iowa.
Former defensive back.
Right, in the Rose Bowl team.
Tough to turn 2, slowly hit out there, and Altuve gets down the line. Cardinals Care Auction 345-9418. Minimum bid increase on these auction items is $100. And again, head to the website cardinals.com. You'll see them there as well. Private dinner with Lou up to $4,000. How about the Mike Matheny VIP experience? Over $12,000 there. Edmonds VIP experience. Whitey and Ultimate Game Day. We need to get those going.
So with Whitey Herzog for 5 innings, you will have the time of your life.
Here's Brett Wallace. Breaking ball and a strike. Norris, when he left the field, straight down the tunnel, it looked like. Yes, sir.
Right, trainer's turn to go down.
Wallace grounded out to short. First time up.
Think about Brett Wallace, former #1 draft pick of the Cardinals. Guys have been in the minor league system. Had a nice conversation with El Presidente, Dennis Martinez, who's in the Astros bullpen. He's their bullpen coach, but he's been a pitching coach in the Cardinals system. And he's very proud of all those young relievers that are doing such a good job in the Cardinals pen. See Dennis there kicking on at the mound. What a pitcher he was.
That's Lucas Harrell, who we saw as a starter against St. Louis in the previous series, and none too pleased. He said he was shocked about being put in the Houston bullpen. El Presidente. Very few have done it. He's one of them. Perfection. Perfect game against the Dodgers while pitching with Montreal. One ball and 2 strikes on Wallace. Runner at first is Jose Altuve. Broken bat, and that rolls foul. Broken bat gives us a chance to take a look at our Twitter poll. Again, if you go online and vote for the AT&T Twitter poll that we have in our telecast, this does not include a vote for the actual final All-Star. You've got Ian Desmond, Freddie Freeman, Gonzalez, Pence, and Puig. May surprise some, but leading the way, Freddie Freeman. Puig is a very popular player in some circles, but Freddie Freeman has had an outstanding year and right now leads in that vote. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Wallace. A's and Pirates now playing in Pittsburgh, and there's no score. That's in the second inning. We'll keep an eye on that.
His final note on Dennis Martinez: 23-year playing career, 245 wins. Ranked Major League history.
Strikeout of Wallace. Midway through 3. Home run hitter Holiday due up when we come back.
He's at Auction Central with an update on our 4th item, the Jim Edmonds and Fox Sports VIP experience. This gives you exclusive access with Jim Edmonds. You can go on set on our pregame show on Fox Sports Midwest with Jimmy Ballgame. You get to watch BP with me and see how I don't really do anything that can be considered work. You get a private room that includes your food and your beverages, and Jim Edmonds will actually stop by and hang out with you for a couple of innings. And you get 2 rooms at Hotel Lumiere. That's in a once-in-a-lifetime package, all for Cardinal Care. The number 314-345-9418. The current bid for that, $4,600. Dan, we're looking to go higher.
All right, thank you, Jim. It's Holiday. He'll lead it off for the Cardinals. 2-run homer back in the first on an 0-2 mistake by Bud Norris. Hung a breaking ball, and that made it 2-0. Cardinals add an RBI from Carpenter. Adds up to a 3-run lead for St. Louis. Bud Norris back out there, sore leg and all.
I always worry about somebody, a pitcher, with a lower leg problem. You alter your mechanics, you land on it funny, and you end up hurting your arm.
First pitch is popped up on the infield. Brett Wallace, 1 away. Remember, Wallace has been moved around in his career. DH, first baseman, but now getting a chance to play a little third base for Houston. Missouri Lottery, our Fox track, says he popped it up.
Actually supposed to be a pitch away from Holiday, but a very effective pitch in on his hands.
There's Alan Craig lined out to center. Cardinals Care has donated about $20 million to kids since its inception back in 1997. Idea at that time was that the team, front office, players, along with the fans, all would come together, try to raise money for kids, and they have done that. I've been on some of the excursions to Joplin, and they've written big checks to help out the kids there. Rebuilding Joplin. They did that again earlier this year after the tornadoes had ripped through Oklahoma. And much of that money clearly stays within the St. Louis area, but they have Redbird Rookies. It's helping out 5,000 kids play baseball, but it's also culture, arts, and screenings, health screenings, various things that kids just wouldn't have a chance to do.
I think it's also, if you are a children's charity, you can apply for a grant from.
That's correct.
From Cardinals Care, and they've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars yearly on that. And as you said, raised over $20 million now.
Winter warm-up is the biggest fundraiser, but it's little things like this. They've got golf tournaments and this special night. Many of the signings that they have throughout the ballpark. All that going into Cardinals Care. 1-2 pitch. Craig hits it out of play. Michael Hall has been the longtime VP Cardinals Care, and one of the things that they do as well, about 50,000 complimentary tickets to children's charities throughout the season as well. One out, nobody on. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and that's driven into left center field. A base hit for Alan Craig, and he's 1 for 2. Krispy Kreme doesn't deal. Cardinals get 9 hits tonight. You're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. Receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal.
You believe in history repeating itself, don't you?
Absolutely.
Let's see if on this date in St. Louis history, 2010, Adam Wainwright, he threw just 8 shutout innings to win 8-0 against the Astros and Bud Norris. Kyle McClellan got the final inning of that shutout, combined shutout.
Since released by Texas.
Has he? That's what was my next question. How's he doing?
Berkman, yeah, he's in some serious pain right now with his knee and his back.
Don't get old, Dan.
I'm edging. Closer by the day. Hey, we have a big Cardinal fan watching tonight. 15-year-old Emily Linneman from Wentzville, Missouri. We understand you're having a pretty rough day, and I know it's been a very painful, long road to come down here to the ballpark and various surgeries. So we hope you heal quickly, and make sure and say hello to Al and I in the booth next time you're here. That's Emily Linneman, and I know she's watching right now as we speak. So best wishes to you. 0-1 pitch to Yachty. One ball, one strike on Molina. Jammed his first time up. Tapped it back to Bud Norris. Runner goes. Hit and run was on. Tapped foul. 2 strikes on Yachty.
Our good friend Cindy Buchanan from American Airlines. What a daughter-in-law she is. It says, on our way to the game tonight, we stopped at St. John's Mercy Hospital to see my mother-in-law, who just had back surgery. So she wants a shout out for her mother-in-law, Jackie Buchanan, but of course Cindy came to the ball game. But Jackie, I know how you feel. Hope you feel better, and you will quite shortly.
That is ripped and backhanded by Wallace. Out at second. And the casual turn. Altuve to first. Brett Wallace. Terrific play. And he takes an extra base hit away from Yadier Molina. The backhand here. Altuve. No big deal. Turning 2. 3-0 after 3.
Target on the board right now is our Whitey Herzog and TV broadcast experience, just $2,900. Imagine this, August 6th, Cardinals play the Dodgers. you get a private room to watch the game, and Whitey Herzog will be in there with you for 5 innings. In addition, you'll spend 2 innings with our broadcast crew, and you'll get to go downstairs and visit the complex world of our broadcast truck. In addition, you get a couple of rooms at the Hyatt. The Whitey Herzog and TV broadcast experience bid currently $2,900. A number to call, 345-9418. Whitey Herzog wants you to do better on that, Dan.
Pedro Alvarez, thank you, Jim. A solo home run for Pittsburgh. They're in the bottom of the second, 1-0. The Pirates lead the A's. Here's Jason Castro. It's Castro, Martinez, and Pena. Cardinals leading 3-0. Auction open up until the 7th inning. That breaking ball lifted down the left field line and out of play. 0-2.
Castro 0 for 2, 0 for 1. Hopefully 0 for 2 off of Wainwright, but he came in 5 for 12. You know who in this lineup who has the highest average against Wainwright? Bud Norris.
And he's got a hit tonight.
He's 3 for 6. 3 for 6 against him.
Waving at that pitch and blocked by Yachty. Strikeout number 5 for Adam Wainwright. I believe every strikeout has come on that breaking ball. Charter high-speed pitch. And Norris has hit 96. Wainwright, it's not the Waino we remember at 95, 96, but it seems like he's better with age.
Oh, definitely. You know, we talked about in our Toyota keys of the game that Adam go out there, if he has command of his pitches, then he has these guys guessing. As he can throw any one of his pitches for strikes. You got young hitters that are going to be overly aggressive, so they'll be very vulnerable to the cutter, the curveball. They can look curveball and throw the fastball by him. Maybe even some changeups.
There's a curveball in there for a strike.
Now 0-2, they're going, what do I do?
Oh-2 pitch to Martinez. Grounded back to Wainwright first time up.
72-mile-an-hour curveball. Then he throws that 88-mile-an-hour cutter. Just always changing speeds.
A little bit low, and also changing his delivery towards the plate.
Yeah, you know, one time he'll take his hands completely over his head. Another time he'll just hold it at the waist. Other times at the chest. Move around on the rubber. Everything to give a different look.
Martinez getting a chance to play. Remember, Justin Maxwell hit his face on the turf diving for a ball against St. Louis. Actually suffered a concussion. And the new rule, and I say it's new, it's about a year and a half in existence, is now the 7-day DL concerning concussions.
Yeah, he went out on a rehab assignment now. I think it was injured, came back one time, and then the effects of the concussion came back, and so they put on that 7-day DL.
Curveball and
yep.
Goodbye. The 2-2 pitch. Strikeout number 6 for Wainwright. Hyundai replay, and it's a look at this breaking ball from Adam Wainwright.
12-6. That ball just comes up and drops down.
There's Carlos Pena. Wonder what teams might be looking for some power potentially off their bench. This guy could provide it. Former 40 home run man. Very good years with Tampa Bay. 2 outs, nobody on. A fly ball, shallow left center, and that drops in for a hit. 2-out base hit for Pena. Just the second hit tonight for Houston.
Power potential, but only 8 this year, and never really hit for a high average. One thing, he doesn't make a lot of money.
Mark Krause Walked his first time up. Cardinals add Rob Johnson, Mitchell Boggs, Ty Wigginton. Both were on the 40-man roster, so Cardinals, I believe they're still under that 40-man limit. It's at 38.
Yeah, I thought prior to the Boggs trade they were at 39, so I think you're right.
One ball, one strike. Wainwright has been sharp tonight. Cardinals receive a little bit over $200,000 in slot money for that Rockies trade, and they have about 1.2 to 1.3 million left to spend on the international market. Curveball in there for a beauty. Woo. 1-2.
See these young hitters just frozen, can't even swing the bat. Guessing wrong. Marty's foot comes down to commit, but then the ball still hasn't gotten to the home plate.
And that's waved at. And a strikeout. Number 7 strikes out the side here in the 4th.
Auction update. The bid for the ultimate game day experience currently $3,100. This includes an exclusive behind the scenes tour of Busch Stadium for one person 15 and under, part of a group of 4. You can be a member of the grounds crew, be a part of Team Fredbird, actually get to shoot one of those t-shirts into the stands, do the PA announcing for a half inning. It includes dinner for 4 at the Cardinals Club, VIP parking for 1, and 4 field box tickets. That's for Saturday, September 7th. Again, the current bid is $3,100. A number to call 345-9418, 315-9418. We're looking to get the numbers higher, Dan.
Okay, thank you, Jim. 7 strikeouts for Adam Wainwright. And again, if son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter, what a great way to take them to the game and an experience they'll never forget.
Hey, we could do that. We could be on Billy Finley's crew. We'll take the hose.
You got it. There's a base hit into right. David Freese is 2 for 2 with a run scored. And again, the Hall of Fame weekend. Cardinals want to make sure you know between now and midnight, you're thinking about coming. There's a look at our Hyundai replay. That base hit to right. They were playing well off the line. You're thinking about that Hall of Fame weekend against the Padres. That's got the Ozzie bobblehead, Shane Dees jersey, Stan the Man replica statue. $5 towards every ticket sold tonight for that weekend goes to Cardinals Care. So if you're going to do it, why not do it tonight? Raise a lot of money. Double into right, first time up for Daniel Descalso. I give Norris some credit here for sticking in this game. You'd like to see it. Not everybody would stick through pain on a team that's not going anywhere.
I mean, it's a fine line between common sense and stupidity, but it's getting ahead of hitters. You don't want to be out there if you're have the hurt to the point where you risk injury.
That's driven again off the bat of Descalso into right center. One hops off the wall. David Freese held up, and Descalso has himself another double, and he's 2 for 2 tonight.
As mentioned, Daniel is now 8 for 20 off of Bud Norris, including a home run. But here a pair of doubles. One into the right field over the right fielder's head as he misplayed it. This one into right center and one hop in the wall. David Freese Second consecutive day, ends up on third base after a Descalzo double. And it's a good thing they didn't throw to third base.
John Jay walked his first time up. Identical to what we saw in the second inning. Single, double. Now Jay. Little bouncer, left side. Wallace fires to the plate and out. It's another good play by Brett Wallace, and one of his biggest advocates playing third base. Cardinals minor league system, Jeff Luhnow.
Well, remember, he was a third baseman out of Arizona State. Triple Crown winner 2 times there. And here he gets his ball here. He takes a chance going home. And you can see that it does short hop. Nice play by the catcher, Castro, but did the foot get there? The throw beat him. And probably the tag a little late. I'm not sure if it, but no complaints on that one when it's a bang play.
Runners at first and second. Here's Wainwright, struck out his first time up. Now Jose Oquendo comes down the line to talk to Waino.
Waino's such a good hitter. Oh, and I don't want to sacrifice.
Right. You swing away. Again, that number 314-345-9418 or cardinalscare.com/TV auction. Look at the items being auctioned off tonight. Any donation greatly appreciated. Wainwright gets the bunt down, and the only play. Go to Altuve at first base. Runners advance. Sacrifice 2-4 on the play.
His 5th sacrifice of the year, just perfect. He's so fundamentally sound. Knows how to help his own cause by advancing both runners. Is dead in the ball, put it right outside there in the grass. They can't throw out the lead runners. And Adam, you know, you see the good form, the knees flexed. Stabbed that a little bit, but he's such a good athlete. He had it under control. Deadened it perfectly.
Now it's Carpenter, 367 with runners in scoring position. Single tonight. Also a sac fly to left with the bases loaded back in the second inning.
Cardinals have been so good all season, driving in runners with 2 outs when they're in scoring position. Carpenter one of those, 324 with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
That's pulled foul, 0-2. That is pulled fair. Somehow Pena couldn't come up with it. And 2 runs will score. Carpenter on his way to second, and with that, it's a 5-0 lead. The Cardinals twice tonight on 0-2 pitches burn Bud Smith.
And that's 3 RBIs on the night for Carpenter. Had the sac fly last time up. His second hit, another multi-hit for Matt Carpenter. His RBI totals up to 70. And remember, Adam Wainwright helped his own cause, sacrificing both runners into scoring position. Matt Carpenter does the rest.
How did Pena miss this?
It just went over his glove or right underneath his glove. It was down the line. It wasn't that easy of a play. He's probably wondering the same thing. How did he miss it?
Almost like the balls that you see sometimes go back to the pitcher and it looks like a changeup coming back at you.
You know, it sometimes does do that. You know, you think it's hit harder and you react and you miss or you think the ball's going to be because you think it's hit harder. It was effectively placed.
You bet. 2 more RBIs, as you mentioned, Al. So up to 40 for Carpenter. Big night for him. 2 hits. His 35th multi-hit game. Number 1 in the National League in that category. Beltran is 0 for 2. Outfield is deep, playing the pole. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Astros have seen sparse crowds, even with their transition to the American League, and again tonight, amazingly, Tuesday night against Houston, and we're going to have over 40,000, well over 40,000 tonight.
You can imagine how these excited young Astros players are. I'll guarantee the Cardinal players never take it for granted. They notice it every day when those stands are filled and feed off the energy. But a young team like the Astros do too. Come in here and young players learn real quick what it's all about, the St. Louis experience.
Two-two pitch. Beltran spoils it.
I always said, Dan, that the Cardinals are the greatest. They're one of the best drawing cards for free agency. Visiting players come in here and they see the atmosphere, they see how the players are loved, and a media-friendly town.
It went into part of the plan of trading for Mark McGwire was if we get him, because we know him, if we get him in this atmosphere, we think he'll stay.
Yeah, and the same thing I think was Holiday.
The 2-2. Well, Lance Berkman and Carlos Beltran are 2 prime examples of guys they're looking to rejuvenate maybe their career a little bit, jump started.
Absolutely. Carlos, I know he's looking statistically, he's had his first half this year a little less than last year, but still great. Can't complain at all. But he's hoping to have a little more consistency in the second half.
I think you would agree too. I've got no problem seeing Carlos sit sometimes to keep him even more fresh down the stretch. Now, people would say, well, wait a minute, Dan, look at the playoffs. He's pretty darn good. I'll give you that. But
you want to be fresh when you hit the playoffs. And Mike Matheny, he knows too, and he's got great communicative skills with these players too, that they're going to rest some.
Beltran, a broken bat single into right. Hit it off the end of the bat, and it's 6-0 St. Louis. He drives in his 52nd of the year. That moves him into the top 10 RBIs of the National League. 2 more runs scored for Matt Carpenter tonight. He's now up to 68, all alone atop that category.
Little breaking ball. This time he expands his zone and goes outside the strike zone. But it was a hanger up there, so he was able to get it, hit it off the end of the bat, and he drives in another run. Carpenter's already scored 2 runs.
So 68 for Matt Carpenter this year, alone atop the National League. Beltran moving into the top 10 of RBIs, and they just get up right now to start to throw. And that's in the Houston bullpen.
Yeah, there's somebody getting up there, and he started throwing yet. So Doug Brocail, the pitching coach up there. It's the first time I could think of seeing a telephone, as Dennis Martinez is on the telephone. Remember, we talked about that, as maybe the bullpen phone's not working. And they have made that rule that you could have some telecommunication out there.
They carry 3 lefties and 5 right-handers in their pen.
Fields.
Yep. Matt Holliday got it all started. 2-run homer on an 0-2 pitch back in the first. He's also popped out to third. What would be the legacy of Tony La Russa if the Cardinals do not win 2011? Phonegate and the way that Game 6 unfolded. You had a pitcher up there that shouldn't be in that spot at that time. And if not for the dramatics of David Freese, Texas wins it, and many would question how that all unfolded for St. Louis. And rightfully so.
Oh, yeah. A lot of different theories, what happened and everything, but it was best leave it alone.
Oh, the legacy now is 2 world titles.
That's right.
How you got there, so what?
Future Hall of Famer. Joined Sparky Anderson as the only 2 managers that won a World Series in each league.
2 balls and 1 strike. Holliday 1 for 2 tonight with that home run. 6 runs allowed, a career high against St. Louis for Bud Norris. We still have not really seen Holliday go on a typical Matt Holliday tear.
Oh, and I think we will, though.
You know, his wife is expecting another child, and that may happen over the All-Star break. These guys are human beings. You wonder if that's in the back of his mind a little bit, and just a chance now not going to the All-Star game to get away from this, relax.
This is the first time as a Cardinal that he's not going to the All-Star game. But Leslie, I believe, is due, she told me yesterday, I think in a couple weeks.
The 2-2 pitch. Holliday pulls it foul. Cardinals picked him up in 2009. I mean, it was a tear that he went on. Everything he hit was hit hard. And unfortunately, it ended that rough series against Los Angeles. But he showed everybody what might be coming, in particular offensively, and he has not disappointed. This year, it's been a tough year for him at times.
But his history is that he's going to hit 13 home runs, 45 RBIs.
And he strikes out here. But it's another big inning for the Cardinals. They pick up 3 more, and they lead it 6-0 with Waino on the mound. In St. Louis, a warm, muggy night. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Midwest. The Cardinals leading Houston with a score of 6-0. What's on tap? We'll highlight Jose Altuve. Good numbers against St. Louis in his career will come your way at 6:30 as we wrap up the homestand. Shelby Miller 9-6, and Jordan Lyles 4-3 for Houston. Again on the air tomorrow 6:30 on your home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. Wainwright struck out the side back in the 4th. And already tonight he has struck out 7. All 7 strikeouts. The final pitch of those Ks have been on curveballs.
Such a signature pitch for him, but remember, he's got such a nasty cutter. There's the cutter there.
There's a ground ball. Diving stop by Craig. Flips to Wainwright. What a play from the All-Star. One All-Star to another. Craig to Wainwright. Our All-Star on Fox Sports Midwest, undoubtedly, Jim Hayes. And he is over at the Cardinals Care hubbub over there, Jim. I know there's some excitement going on. About $40,000 has been raised.
Not bad. You notice, though, the Mike Matheny VIP experience, the bid is stuck at $12,100. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for 4 people. You'll get a pregame meet and greet with Mike in his office. You watch him address the media before the game, discuss strategy and starting lineups with Mike Matheny. Dan says make a suggestion if you want to. You watch batting practice from a VIP area. You get dinner for 4 at the Cardinals Club, VIP parking, 4 field box tickets, and a one-night stay at the Hyatt, 2 rooms. It's for a mutually agreeable date. Dan, it's all to benefit Cardinals Care. Great experience, Dan, and a great cause.
All right. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate that. Again, around $40,000 raised, all going to Cardinals Care. I'm surprised some of the ladies haven't stepped up to try to bid on that experience.
I see Cindy M. is all over Whitey Herzog. He's been bidding on him 2 or 3 times. Mary Lou will be upset, but she'll get over it for Cardinals Care.
Well, certain things you just need to draw the line on. That would be one of them. So they work on Cedeno here.
Found that ball off his foot.
Like I've said numerous times, Al, come to the ballpark, never know what you may see. Work with you, never know what you may hear. It's always an experience, Matt Ungarian. You know, we do those functions for the Cardinals, and then Matheny gets up and speaks. And I mean, all the ladies, they've got the cell phones out, cameras, the pictures. Then Mo came up one time. I said, what's that say about us? They all sat down, went, got something to eat. No pictures being taken. That experience, you're down in his office. You're watching him interact with the media. BP. And you're helping kids.
Helping kids.
Curveball and a chopper towards short. Descalso. 2 away. Try the new Egg White Delight McMuffin. Only 250 calories and only at McDonald's. We have that big weekend coming up with the Padres after the All-Star break. That's the Hall of Fame weekend. Ozzie bobblehead. Red Shandy's jersey giveaway as Cedeno is limping off the field. Also the Stand the Man statue. Great numbers there for Adam. If you buy a ticket for that game, $5 of every ticket sold from here until midnight. This time until midnight, $5 every ticket sold will go to Cardinals Care. So you're thinking about coming in, taking part in that weekend, why not get a ticket right now and do that?
Adam very efficient for 2 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. 67 pitches.
The first hit of the night, Bud Norris infield hit, and he beat it out. That was between the shortstop, third baseman. Descalso eventually came up with it. Long throw, slipped on it, and Norris not running well, but still beat it out. 2-1 pitch. Now it's 2-2.
You got a bad ankle, and now you foul one off it. Things are going good, aren't they? It hurt on the outside of the ankle, not on the inside. Now its pain is even.
There's a liner into right, and the catch is made. Beltran positioned perfectly. It's another 1-2-3 inning. Taking a look at the 3 outs for Adam Wainwright. This diving stop by Alan Craig. The backhand and the flip to Waino. Ronnie Cedeno. A couple of hops to short. Descalso made that play. Beltran positioned perfectly on this liner to right. Waino and the Cardinals cruising here in game 1.
6-0. The question, how much would you pay to have a private dinner with Hall of Famer Lou Brock? Right now the bid stands at $5,000. Here's what you get. You get a pregame dinner for 2 with Lou Brock and his wife Jackie at Chemo's Restaurant. Chemo's is one of the finest restaurants in all of St. Louis. You get a view of St. Louis that you can't get anywhere else. You get a private chauffeur service to Kimmel's and to Busch Stadium in a car specifically built for Lou Brock. You get 2 field box tickets, and it's on a mutually agreeable date. But time is starting to run out. The auction ends in the bottom of the 7th inning. At the end of the 7th inning, this thing is over. And Al, I'm not sure, you said that car that will be chauffeured, that was built for Lou, is what, a Stutz Bearcat? Is that right, Al?
Stutz Bearcat.
Stutz Bearcat.
Yep. 73. When Lou said it was, drove that car in his 3,000 hit, and also the night he stole 105 bases.
Alan Craig pops out, foul territory to Pena. There's a new shortstop. Ronnie Cedeno is out, and Jake Elmore takes over at short.
Significance of 105 was that broke the Major League record of 104 by Maury Wills that time.
Famous call of Jack Buck. 105 for Lou Brock. You know, the amazing thing about his calls, Al,
they're as good now as they were then.
Oh yeah, but never lost sight of the game, even with the individual milestone happening.
He was at his best when he was off the cuff.
And that's taken inside. Wonder with a big lead like this, 6 runs, Wainwright pretty much cruising in this game. He's given up just 2 hits. In Mike Matheny's mind, how long do you go with Adam? How long do you go with Yachty? He's back in the lineup tonight. Maybe you give Johnson a little playing time and get his feet wet.
Well, you can do that now that you're carrying 3 catchers. And once again, you know, the scare that everyone had was Friday night, where Yachty, for the first time this year, his knee had been bothering him, but first time it affected him running. And you see the newest Cardinal, Rob Johnson, we brought up today from Memphis, as Ty Wigginton was designated for assignment.
And Molina hit by the pitch. No activity right now in the Houston bullpen. We did see that last inning, and Molina is aboard for the first time tonight.
Right there on the usual patch.
So Yachty hit by the pitch, and it brings in third baseman David Freese. First pitch back in the second, lined it into center field, and then hit a line drive to right. Playing well off the line was Carlos Pena. Scooted that by him and picked up his second hit of the night. Again, the auction closes bottom of the 7th, and a lot of folks have tweeted at me saying, well, these experiences are getting a little too expensive for me. Sorry, I'd like to help. Well, you still can. You can still donate any amount of money, any amount. And our operators are standing by at this number, 314-345-9418, 345-9418, cardinals.com/TV auction. And again, it's gone to the assistance of those in Oklahoma, Joplin, kids in this area. We've seen that money go to work firsthand. It's been extremely generous of the Cardinals and the fan base and what they've done coming together.
Resume play in Pittsburgh. They had a rain delay where the A's are batting in 5th, leading the Pirates 2-1.
Brandon Moss, 2-run homer in the top of the 4th. We start him young here, Al.
Why not?
Straight from the hospital to your seat here at the ballpark. Very hot, muggy night here at the ballpark. Glad you're with us. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Freeze, a rope into center field for a base hit. 3 for 3, David Freese tonight. Update the bids again. This will last until the bottom of the 7th. And in particular, the Jim Edmonds VIP experience, the play catch with Shelby, also the ultimate game day experience. Son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter, what a neat experience you could have for them. Memories of a lifetime. PA announcer, part of the grounds crew, Team Fredbird, all in one day. I mean, just a chance to shadow Jim Hayes. My goodness.
Oh, priceless.
Wow. And we'll mix in Jim Edmonds with that.
And Pat Paris.
Yeah. Who knows? You might be on that game over there, too.
Okay, it's not priceless anymore.
Here is Descalso. 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles. Mentioned Moss has that home run for Oakland. Pedro Alvarez, home run for the Pirates, now 23. Most by a Pirates player before the All-Star break since Willie Stargell back in 1973. When we were last in Pittsburgh, it was cold, bad weather, had the rain out, and we're both thinking, at what point are they going to send down Pedro Alvarez again? He looked awful, but now he looks terrific again.
Yeah, it's just, you know, they knew that he was going to walk into some home runs, but didn't think he'd ever hit for a great average. But that average has to be creeping up now to be respectable with all the home runs he's hitting and as frequent as he's hitting home runs.
I don't think he was asked by David Wright, captain the National League Home Run Derby team, to participate. Clint Hurdle said, well, we're going to see the Mets right before the break. Our fans can let David Wright know all about that.
Might be doing him a favor, as I think the Cardinals are very relieved that Carlos Beltran is not part of the home run derby. Not a lot of good things happen. You know, going out there trying to hit home runs, wearing yourself out, mess up your swing, your timing. And I think Jim Edmonds even hurt his shoulder in that home run derby. Lucas Harrell, talked about him earlier. He's warming up from Springfield, Missouri.
Runners at first and second. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. The 2-2. Daniel gets a piece. Should be interesting later tonight. Dodgers, Diamondbacks hooking up for the first time since that nasty series they had at Dodger Stadium. As Daniel pops that foul out of play. All the fines and suspensions that they had, punches thrown.
Kind of be stupid, though, to start something with all eyes of baseball on you.
The 2-2. Yachty's got that look like he wants to run, and I think Jason Castro picked up on that. Yachty was about a third of the way to third base, and Bud Norris wasn't even paying attention to him.
Castro throwing out about 21% of runners this year, and Yachty sometimes picks his spot. We've seen him steal third base when the middle infielders aren't paying attention to him, or and the pitcher not paying attention to him, not varying his look. So
the 2-2 pitch. John Jay on deck.
Saw where Ryan Wilson is going to audition for major league clubs on August the 1st. Trying to find out if there's any suitors for the former Giant closer.
Strikeout of Descalso. Took something off that pitch. That's strikeout number 4 for Bud Norris.
That ball up in the strike zone. Descalso might have had a better swing at it, but over the top. 4th strikeout for Bud Norris. He has allowed 10 hits and 6 earned runs.
With 2 outs, here is Jay. He has walked. And then it took a very good play by Brett Wallace to his left. Threw out the runner trying to score. That was David Freese back in the 4th. The Cardinals tonight, 4 runs have scored with 2 outs. 4 runs have scored on base hits with an 0-2 count. That's a base hit. This time Wallace couldn't come up with it. Yachty being waved in. The throw to the plate, not in time. 7-0 St. Louis. John Jay drives in his 37th. Wallace was playing pretty far off the line. Took a hit last time up to his left, and this time Jay shoots it past him on the other side.
Hit too hard. No chance for Brett Wallace.
Adam Wainwright helped his own cause with a sacrifice that went 2-4 back in the 4th with a couple of runners in scoring position, and he's also struck out. Cardinals with a 7-run lead. I'm not sure how well Yachty was running there from second base. Let's take a look.
I think he's fine right here, and I think he thought that he was going to score easily. And running hard, as I guess he's going to with that knee. We were both surprised that he was in the lineup, but they feel he's not. They're not going to do any damage. Going to monitor his activity with the heat.
One ball and 2 strikes. Two runners on and a 1-2 pitch. Wainwright waves at it, strikes out. 2 Ks in the inning, 5 in the game for Bud Norris, limping off the field. All St. Louis after 5.
The items should have higher bids, including the ultimate game day experience, just $3,700. Call 314-345-9418. For those of you who don't know what this is all about, it's for Cardinals Care. Michael Hall is the executive director of Cardinals Care. And for those people who aren't aware of the good work you do, tell us about some of the things you guys are involved with.
Cardinals Care is our team foundation, and we support kids. And the way we do that is by raising money throughout the year, and we do it through cash grants and through our Redbird Rookies program.
It's a unique partnership that you guys have with the fan base of the St. Louis Cardinals. They really help out when you need it, don't they?
We're very lucky. Cardinals Nation's great to us, and we really appreciate all the support tonight.
Couple of the low bid items. If someone's thinking about making a bid and helping out Cardinals Care, what would you say to them?
I'd say don't wait till the end. It's going to end at the 7th, so if you're thinking about bidding, call in now.
Time is a waste, and thank you, Michael. Guys, we send it back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you, Michael. We appreciate it. And it's a 7-run lead for St. Louis here in the top of the 6th. Altuve, Wallace, and Castro.
Those hands off that net.
So the top of the lineup, Wainwright, very sharp tonight. 2 hits allowed. He has struck out 7.
Had his 7 strikeouts through 4 innings. 12 is his career high.
And a ground ball. He puts it in play. Carpenter there. 1 away. The other day it was Freddie Freeman, and tonight it's Yasiel Puig.
I think that's because you were crying. Because it wasn't
really
Puig.
Right. AT&T Twitter poll.
You can hear it in your voice, Dan. Contusion of the left big toe sends Ronnie Cedeno out of this game.
It'd be crazy for me to talk about an actual issue in the game. I know what you're saying, though. I shouldn't talk about that. With Puig.
No, you were crying because
no.
Because Freeman won over the weekend, and it doesn't count this poll anyway.
It's
our curiosity.
This game is for the fans, and whatever player they want in there, I'm all for it.
But your man had 4 strikeouts and 4 at-bats yesterday.
There's a extra base hit off the bat of Brett Wallace. He's on his way to second and stops there. 1 out double.
Cardinals former #1 draft pick. He's always hit the Cardinals fairly well.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Are you not one bit at least intrigued with Puig?
Oh, I can't wait to see him here.
Me neither.
But I don't want to see him do well against the Cardinals.
And I think that's how many fans.
I want to give you a hard time.
You always. You never gave.
I've never done that, Dan.
Day one since I walked in here, you've been all smiles and hugs. Made it pretty easy early on,
Dan.
too.
There were a couple times I thought I was maybe a little
rough
on you.
You? No.
When you were about 20.
No. Not you, Al.
And I was 60.
Now look at us. Next year, your 30th year behind the mic. Oh. And Castro is hit by the pitch. And remember, Yachty had been pitched.
And we just had
hit
2
by
warnings.
a pitch early before. Home plate umpire is Mark Wegner. Barnes Jewish Difference Maker. Barnes Jewish Hospital. And thus far it's Adam Wainwright, 5 1/3. 3 hits, no runs. He's walked 1, and the 7 strikeouts. That walk was just his 14th this year, back in the second inning.
And when Molina was hit, I was trying to remember, wasn't there a few guys hit in the series in Houston?
There's a base hit into right field. Wallace will score. And advancing on the play, Castro to third. So the RBI for J.D. Martinez is 33rd to drive in Wallace.
Little slider cutter right there, and Wallace had a pretty good swing on it. Down Martinez drives in the first run, drives in Wallace. There's at first and third. So instead of the double play ball, you see Castro go over to third base.
Now, take me inside the mindset right now, the players. You've got a guy out there with, for the most part, impeccable control. Your all-star, your MVP was just hit. Now Wainwright is hit, their all-star. You're wearing the Cardinal uniform. What does that say about Wainwright as a teammate? What's it mean as far as the respect factor for a guy like that?
Well, that's it. I mean, it's a situation there where you're sticking up for your team. And like I said, I felt like there was something, can't quite remember what all transpired. And a couple guys get hit in Houston. And then in this game like this, it looks a little suspicious when Yachty gets hit. So you just come back and say, okay, this even up 1-1. Let's just play baseball. But Wainwright gets the respect of all hitters. The last thing you want is to have a hitter go and tell a starting pitcher, you've got to protect. Either that pitcher is going to do it on his own, or there's somebody else on the pitching staff that will take care of it for him. But it's also a fine line, because I've seen some pitchers that won't protect their hitters, and you don't want to lose a game. You know, I've seen guys that if you tell them to do it and they refuse to do it or afraid to do it, and then they can't pitch. So you have to know who will protect you in your game and who won't.
One and two the count on Pena with one out, runners at the corners. Boy, that is nasty stuff right there. That cutter, he threw that twice to Pena. That swing was odd, to say the least.
Well, I think Wainwright's a little upset at the fact that he made a couple pitches that stayed up a little bit. He got hurt with the base hit to Wallace, and then J.D. Martinez drove him in. So you can see now it's a little more geared back to where he's finishing off his pitches, throwing them where he wants them. Talk about guys policing the game. And there are times where you might have a pitcher that's a little, you know, headhunter, or goes out and throws at different times, and all of a sudden, you know, his own teammates will go to him and say, wait a minute, you're going to get one of us hurt. So they'll be able to control their own guys too.
We've also seen, after benches have been worn many times, especially with young pitchers, they get afraid to pitch how they normally would, and if that means they pitch inside, they
have to do it.
Yeah, then sometimes they go away from it and they get hit,
and then they're really making a mistake.
Broken bat taken by Descalso quickly to first, and Krause is retired. Houston gets on the board. RBI single by J.D. Martinez. It's 7-1.
If you have a young one at home, you're a family of four, and you have a boy or girl 15 or under, and you want to be a real hero, check out the Shelby Miller package. Your kid will actually get to play catch on the field with Shelby Miller. All four of the people that are part of the package will get an autographed baseball from Shelby Miller. All four will receive a behind-the-scenes tour of the Cardinal clubhouse with Shelby Miller. You get 4 field box tickets as well. Shelby Miller is becoming a star, And think of the memories you'll provide for your young one. You could say, you know what? I did that for you. You had a catch on the field with Shelby Miller. Dan, that's what memories are made of.
That's right. I did that for you. Don't you remember? You No, that's something that you can do, and it'll be very nice for your son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter. Visit Cardinals.com/TV auction. Cardinals.com/TV auction, or again, the number 314-345-9418. I want to reiterate this point. You do not have to bid on those items. You just want to make a donation. Any amount is greatly appreciated. And it's been from rebuilding homes in Joplin to giving kids the chance to play baseball, over 5,000 in the St. Louis area. All the different programs that are associated with education. So we hope you make a donation. Any size is greatly appreciated. Lucas Harrell, Chevy called to the pen. He made a start against St. Louis in that brief 2-game set. And he is a native of Missouri.
This is his first relief appearance for quite a while. He made 19 starts with varying degrees of good and bad. He's a ground ball specialist. His last relief appearance was September 28th, 2011 against St. Louis. I think he beat the Cardinals 3 times last year. Ground ball pitcher.
And look at Matt Carpenter, just doing what Matt Carpenter does. It's another base hit, and he's thinking too, hustling out of the box, and he is safe. Somehow he avoids the tag of Chip Gilmore. That play, in a nutshell, describes Matt Carpenter pretty much at all times, and certainly this season. Hustling, making something out of nothing. He picks up a double. It's his second of the night, a 3-hit night, another multi-hit campaign. This guy is fun to watch.
He really is, and just loves to play the game. He plays it the right way, and yeah, he was safe. Harrell just crossed up Castro, and watch him go to the inside. He misses the tag, and he gets to the base ahead of it. So very good call right there. You think Tim Timmons with that? Did you think initially he was out?
No doubt.
Yeah, you too.
Throw, I guess, was just a bit offline, but not much. Wasn't received at the bag. So it's a leadoff double for Carpenter. Here's Beltran, who has an RBI tonight, back in the 4th. Pops it up a mile high. Foul territory, and the catch made by Wallace.
Wallace has slimmed down quite a bit since we first saw him.
If you're paying much attention to it, but when he was racing around the bags, picked up the double, he is running
much better.
A lot better.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, they told me when he was in college, and I think he stole like 20 bases, Brett Wallace. He was a Triple Crown winner at Arizona State.
Last 3 outings for Harrell.
They're all starts. And see kind of the mixed bag. We've seen good and bad from him, but then he's had some of those short ones, and that put him in the bullpen. Wake-up call.
And Holiday hit by that pitch. Glances back at Harrell.
Mike Matheny's going to go out there. This is when umpires get themselves in trouble by warnings, issuing warnings. And now, you know, because if an umpire thinks somebody's deliberately throwing at a pitcher, deliberately throwing a hitter, he can eject him without a warning. So when you put on warnings, then it's natural you think that, okay, that's going to stop everything. If somebody's they're thrown inside, and that one is awfully far inside. But our home plate umpire, Mike Wagner, thought that was unintentional.
And Matt Holliday As I said, right when it happened, you could see him staring back at Lucas Harrell as if that pitch had a little bit more than just a pitch inside.
Yeah, I think Lucas Harrell, I don't know how tough he is, but he's not tough enough for Matt Holliday. If Matt Holliday ever got mad, look out. He's been hit before. He doesn't like it, but he knows how to play the game the right way. But a little stare to tell you don't do it again.
Alan Craig is 8 for 15 against this right-hander.
So you put another guy on base.
.20 pitch, drops down. A little sidearm there from Lucas Harrell. I don't remember him doing that.
No, but try to do little things. You mentioned he was a little upset taken out of the rotation, and this is his first relief appearance in a couple years, but other stuff's not working, come up with something new.
The 2-1 pitch.
Got a pretty good arm to be released by the White Sox.
Count on Craig. Be a handful of years before we see the Astros again after tomorrow night. Interleague play will shift, and it sounds like the American League East would be the teams the Cardinals would face next year.
Sounds like the preliminary schedule would have both the Yankees and Boston coming to St. Louis next year. About how big those crowds are going to be.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Craig. Get out of play. Craig, a bouncer right side. Altuve was going towards the bag at second. And Alan Craig delivers again as the ball scoots away. And he'll take second base. Alan Craig, 2 hits tonight. And that's 70 driven in this year. 3 runs scored for Matt Carpenter.
Alan Craig just been a monster. RBIs, totally misses location, supposed to be inside, it's out away from him, he just shoots the gap where vacated second baseman was.
And Altuve, I think, was trying to keep Carpenter close to the bag, and now Craig with 70 RBIs, most by Cardinal pre-All-Star break. He is tied with Ripper Collins.
How about, look at William McGee up there with Albert Pujols and Mark McGwire the one year.
They'll load him up. An intentional pass here to Molina to bring up David Freese, who is 3 for 3 tonight. Interesting inning, huh?
Sure is.
Would the Cardinals then think about pinch running for Molina and get him out of this game? Intentional pass here. Yachty is tapped back to the pitcher, was robbed on a double play by Brett Wallace, and then hit by the pitch. Run scored back in the 5th.
Mike Matheny talking to Andretti, but doesn't seem to be looking for a pinch runner. Freese needs another hit tonight to go over 280. Freese has hit in 33 of his last 42 games.
Bases loaded, and he looks at an off-speed pitch high. Interesting that you would load the bases up with a guy that is struggling with his command. He's already hit a man. You can see that Castro's been calling for a number of pitches in and out, hasn't hit spots. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another reason why you may question the intentional pass is gaudy numbers for Freese against right-hander Lucas Harrell.
I think he's a ground ball pitcher and has shown that ability, trying to get the double play ball.
And he may get it here. Out at second, and the move pays off the double play. First time that Freese has been retired tonight.
To benefit Cardinals care. If you have your eye on something, call 314-345-9418. One thing is a proven fact. People love Jim Edmonds, and right now the Jim Edmonds VIP experience, the bid is $6,000. We think someone is going to go higher. What you get? Exclusive access, joining Jim Edmonds on set for Fox Sports Midwest pregame show. You shadow me during BP. I will personally hand you $20. You spend the game in a private room on the broadcast level that includes food and beverages. Edmonds will visit that private room. You watch the Fox Sports Midwest postgame show at a VIP table at the Stadium Club at Lumiere Place. You get one night stay at Hotel Lumiere, which includes 2 rooms. The date for this, August 22nd. Dan, I know you love Jim Edmonds. I thought you'd bid on that package.
I'm thinking about it. Knowing Jimmy, I'm sure he'll tweet all about it and tell you all about it too.
Hey, you could get $20 back from Jim Hayes. That'd be worth it right there, right?
Man,
big spender, Jim Hayes.
Never thought about that. Just don't expect the cab fare. That's an inside joke for all of you out there in Cardinal Nation about Jim Hayes, because we love Jim. We love to give him a little trouble too. He does a great job for us, and we appreciate his hard work tonight. Wainwright steps and throws, and again it's the bottom of the 7th. It comes to a close. The Cardinals were hoping to have roughly $40,000-$50,000 raised. Well, we're going to have a lot more than that. So if you're on the fence about making a donation or bidding on one of the items that includes our very own Jim Hayes, make sure you do it. 314-345-9418. 314-345-9418. Cardinals.com/TV auction. And again, any amount we very much appreciate, and good job by Jim Hayes tonight, keeping us updated. We appreciate that as well. There's a strike to Jake Elmore. And there's a base hit out to left. Crowd tonight, 43,836. 43,836, 14th sold out crowd this season. Things just got serious because the Cardinals have 8 runs tonight. So you'll score any size coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just 50 cents tomorrow at On the Run. While you're there, be sure to stop by On the Way Cafe. Breakfast biscuits, hot dogs, sandwiches, and more only at On the Run. Jimmy Paradis. And he takes a high strike, took over in right field last inning. Then they moved J.D. Martinez to left. Krause was done for the night. That was when they brought in Lucas Harrell. This might be one of those games, Al, where Cardinals could curtail the workload of Adam Wainwright. Pitch count at 91. You think about maybe Rob Johnson getting some playing time, making his Cardinal debut.
See a lot of scenarios. I'm not sure Mike Matheny's going along with those.
There's another strikeout for Wainwright, and that is number 9 tonight. I don't know about you, but I am so pumped because it's the AT&T U-verse Rewind. Here it is. Let's get you caught up to date. 9 strikeouts tonight for Adam Wainwright. More on him in a moment. Carpenter, the 3 hits, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Bud Norris, 5 innings, got knocked around. To think that Matt Carpenter came in 1 for 12 against Bud Norris, and Adam Wainwright awfully effective this evening. Here's Altuve.
That's about right, though. You know, first time most of the Cardinals, first 3 or 4 times games, they saw Bud Norris. They had very little success, but you can tell by today they have figured him out. It was nice to get the 2-run home run by Holiday in the first inning, set the tone for this game.
If there was ever a time to get Johnson into a game, or Tony Cruz, and sit Yadier Molina, I would think this would be the game. You're up 8-1 with your ace on the mound. And you know he wants to play, but this is one of those instances where you take the decision away from the player.
Right, and I think most people felt that, okay, you know, they got the good MRI, just inflammation, it's not a problem, just be cautious of it, aware of it, so give him at least this day off, if not both days. But the doctors have cleared him to play, and Mike Matheny put him in there because he wants to be in.
Hit back to Wainwright, knocks it down, and he makes the play. Time to stretch. The Cardinals lead at 8-1.
Is coming to an end. It ends after the 7th inning. That means you have 1/2 inning, if you have your eye on something, to get in the winning bid. You look at the ultimate game day experience, which includes being part of Team Fredbird, the grounds crew, do some PA announcing. That's just $4,000. We could do better. Dan, it's a golden opportunity for someone to do something really nice for themselves or their family, but also helping out a great cause. Cardinal Care has really helped out a lot of deserving youngsters in the St. Louis areas, among other things.
Sure have, Jim, and we appreciate your work tonight with Michael. Keeping an eye on that. 1997 it started, over 20 million raised. So that picture, I think, would tell you that Adam Wainwright is through for the night.
7 innings of good one-run baseball. 5 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 run. Kevin Sechrist. Can't wait to see more of him.
Milwaukee, by the way, holds on. They defeat Cincinnati. Schaefer hits a 2-run homer in the 5th, and that's all they needed. Cingrani takes a loss. He's now 3-1. Peralta the win, 6-9. Cincinnati only 3 hits in that game. Milwaukee 4, and they win it 2-0. Oakland still leading Pittsburgh as they move to the bottom of the 8th, and that's 2-1.
Belfour, not quite his time yet, as it moved now to the bottom of the 8th, but Belfour is what, 23 for 23, the Oakland closer,
closing in on Dennis Eckersley. And the remarkable run that he had.
Right, 40 straight.
Descalso, big night. Pair of doubles. Misplay in a liner that was hit at J.D. Martinez back in the 2nd. Then a double, 1 hop off the wall in right center. That was in the 4th and struck out in the 5th. Hard hit to first. 1 away. Beautiful shot from Washington Avenue here in downtown St. Louis, a few blocks away. John Jay, ground ball to second, 2 away. Matt Adams will be the pinch hitter. The big 2-run homer off the bench on Saturday to tie the game up. Cardinals eventually won it. Full numbers on the auction coming up on the post-game show, and you still have time to bid. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Put your last bid in now.
And a ground ball that's handled by Pena. Cardinals go 1-2-3. Thank you to all of you that bid, made a donation. Everyone with the Cardinals appreciates it. Sports Midwest, let's go to our studio and a Bomberito sports update. Here's Tony Cruz. He's catching now behind the plate. So Molina out of the ball game. And Kevin Sechrist, our Chevy, called to the pen. Umpire telling him, Kevin, there's been some warnings issued. And Kevin Sechrist has been nothing short of spectacular since arriving on the scene.
He's got a chance to do something no other reliever has done in Cardinal history. And that is to have his 12th scoreless appearance to start a career. There have been 11, and that's where Sechrist is right now. He's been outstanding with just 2 hits allowed in his 11 innings. Both of them been to left-handers, and right-handers are 0 for 16 against him. So he's just, opponents are batting .057 against this tough left-hander. 41st round draft pick.
People have asked, where did this guy come from? As Brett Wallace digs in, 1 ball, 1 strike, and they said, just your typical late bloomer. A couple of years ago, started to see the guy that we're seeing now. And to me, if you're Mark Zubchinski, you're thinking Mitchell Boggs just got traded, and maybe I'm on the way out as well. Where's my spot potentially with this team? Right now, he doesn't have one.
Right now, he doesn't deserve one. You know, he's pitching well down there, and Cardinals may be able to find a home for him. But right now, I think Segrist, Schoop, who's on a 3-year contract, are your 2 relievers. And Segrist was right in their backyard. Wilmington High School in Florida, and also went to Palm Beach Community College. So he was right there in the neighborhood for spring training.
Well, this guy is nasty. Throwing mid-90s, good breaking ball. Bam.
Got good size to him, you know, for a pitcher. Listed at 6'5", 215. Kind of lanky and a lot of arms and legs going all over the place. Got good whip action.
Have you seen enough, Al, that if the Cardinals wanted to after the season, you've seen enough of those secondary pitches to say that potentially Segrist could work himself into a rotation?
And what I see right now is I like him where he's at.
Oh, I'm not saying that I don't like him. I agree with you.
You know, but I think
lefty coming out to a 97.
Absolutely. I mean, when you can be this kind of weapon where he is right now, maybe after another year of in the bullpen, maybe you think about that. But Cardinals have so many young potential starters. Just leave them in the bullpen. It's a nice problem to have, isn't it?
What a weapon. And as you mentioned, lefties or righties.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's only given up 2 hits in 11 1/3 innings right now, and they've both been left-handers. And righties are 0 for 16 against him, so I mean, he's just overmatching some of these hitters. This is National League All-Star right here, Castro.
I mean, just look at some of these swings. These swings are very tardy on this fastball. The 2-2 just missed. 96. He has hit 97.
It's kind of a easy motion, and the ball just jumps out of his hand.
And a 3-2 pitch to Jason Castro. Got him. Struck him out. Not trying to trick anybody there. I mean, that's just 95, and here you go.
Sometimes scouts like to sit behind. Other times they like a side view to just see what the action of the pitch. Thing that Castro knows is he came up empty.
And many around baseball, Al, are talking about Segrist, but also about Blazek.
Yeah, and Blazek is, and I talked a little bit with Dennis Martinez, who had both these guys on low minors, about them, and was talking about Michael Blazek, who's another guy that high octane, goes harder than the 97 that Segrist has. There's El Presidente, and he said, wait till you see his breaking ball on Blazek. But, you know, he's very confident on both these young guys. Very high on them. And I said, I've heard about the breaking ball. He said, boy, you'll see it eventually.
There's a high fly ball out to left. That'll stay in the ballpark. And another scoreless inning for Segrist. The run continues. St. Louis on top. 8-1. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Warm night, and here is Carpenter. What a night he's had. Pair of doubles, sac fly, RBI, 3 runs scored, 3 hits. Ground ball to the right side. 1 away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Harold's in his 3rd inning of work, and he's doing his job right now. Last 6 outs have been ground balls.
There's a liner out to left. That ball gets down off the bat of Beltran. Now he's thinking 2 on his way to second. In there safely. 1 out double.
Indication there how well he's running, as he was a little surprised after the turn and just elegantly glided into second base, but he turned it on a little bit. Hits it out there. Watch it here. But he gets over here, and then he sees the throw coming in, and he just turns it up a little bit and a nice easy slide. Very graceful how he plays the game.
Shane Robinson, his first plate appearance. The Cardinals have used Matt Adams off the bench, and Robinson was the hero the other day. Turned out to be a non-routine walk-off base hit. Looked to be a routine hit to right.
It was.
And it turned out to be a walk-off.
Being a double, and they muffed the relay throw, got underneath Logan Morrison, and John Jay came home on that one. And he showed. And look, was that Blasek? Michael Blasek is a right-hander with Schote.
1 ball, 1 strike. Big Cardinal fan Mike Mayo celebrating his 25th birthday here at the ballpark. Mr. Mayo, happy birthday. Says his favorite player, Matt Adams. Unfortunately, we've already seen Adams pinch hit. Came up empty tonight. We know that he has done some serious damage.
What's the name? Big city, big country.
All kinds of names. Let's call him the big man. He had the big blast the other day, did Matt Adams, so he's been fun to watch.
I'll tell you what, we never get disappointed when we see him stroll up to the batter's box. Never know.
And that's out of play. Well, he likes that pitch up. We talked about it a lot, but he takes a vicious cut.
Shane Robinson, not very big, but you're right. Likes the ball up, and he'll put a swing in it. It's not an easy one. He's not trying to guide it, trying to rip it.
Oh, watch out. And it's ball 4. So Robinson is aboard.
Now,
Alec Craig, another RBI opportunity.
You got a warning. He's already hit a man. Now he throws one over a batter's head, and it's all okay. Sometimes the umpire's got to say, wait a minute, you have to have better control than that. I know it's not intentional, but
There's a broken bat, base hit out to left. Run will score to make it 9-1. Robinson on his way to third. 2 RBI night for Alan Craig. He's up to 71.
Alan Craig, 3 hits today. He's pushing 230. Or excuse me, 330. He's at 329 after his 3rd hit tonight. And as you say, his 2nd RBI. Shane Robinson can run. But he had 100 steals, 100 plus steals at Florida State collegiately. Tony Cruz will get his first plate appearance. Mike Matheny was talking about that there were several times when they only had the 2 catchers that he wanted to use Tony Cruz as a pinch hitter, but just felt like he couldn't do it. But now carrying 3 catchers, Rob Johnson joins the ball club today. You can see some more at bats for Tony.
Up the middle, and nifty play here at short as they turn 2. Sends us to the 9th. Mike Matheny and the Cardinals lead it 9-1.
Lewis coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Paris and Chris Duncan are at Lumiere Place. The Cards roll over Big Bad Bud Norris. They'll break it down. Adam Wainwright looking for win number 12 tonight. He was razor sharp to look at his night. Plus, we'll have Mike Matheny's post-game comments. Randy Choate on to pitch for the Cardinals. We go back to the booth. And Dan and Al, guys.
Jim, good job tonight. You were busy over at the basically the headquarters for Cardinals Care tonight. Great job as always. Here's Randy Choate. The lefty comes in, and he needs some work. Chevy called to the pen. This will be his 31st appearance of the season. Opponent's only hitting .203 and an ERA of an even 2. They have moved to the 9th inning, bottom half in Pittsburgh. Balfour is on to close it for Oakland. The Pirates have a runner at first and nobody out.
Matt Dominguez is going to pinch hit here, and then Chris Carter is on deck. Dominguez, we saw him playing 3rd base, and Shane Robinson stays in the game. He's playing left field.
Cardinals franchise record, 12 consecutive scoreless appearances to begin a career. Segrist, now the numbers say 2 for 38. That is just amazing. 2 for 38.
He's going to have a game where he's going to give up some runs and get some hits, but I'll tell you one thing, he's going to be here for a while.
Oh yeah. Two balls and 1 strike. Randy Choate came in to get 1 out in that blowout win for St. Louis in Los Angeles against the Angels.
Never know when you're up by 10. 1 out to go.
Here's a ground ball, and deep in the hole, Descalso. Long throw to first, offline. The base hit for Matt Dominguez.
Good effort.
Player of the game, Adam Wainwright. 7 innings, the 9 strikeouts, the 1 walk, 5 hits allowed, and just 1 earned run.
And make the pitching change as Michael Blazek will come in here. Cardinals up 9-1, but a man on, trying to get the final 3 outs.
So Chevy called the pen, spun off a breaking ball, and both you and I kind of looked at each other and said, whoa, wait a minute. And we hadn't really seen that. We know he's got a pretty good fastball too.
We know he's got the fastball, but we've heard about that breaking ball. We saw it there and kind of surprised us because it was so tight and so quick, late moving. This is a young man, his 7th year in the Cardinal minor league system. He's a 35. 35th round draft selection. So there were 1,067 people drafted ahead of Michael Blazek. And this is the guy that people associate with the Cardinal minor league system said, watch out. As impressive as all the other guys have been, this is the one that they say may be the absolute best. Just being equal to 3 or 4 of them, pretty impressive.
Grant Belfour has struck out Andrew McCutchen. Now with runner at first, he's dealing with Pedro Alvarez. Cardinals runner at first here for Houston, and that pitch at 96 from Michael Blazek.
Short arms. That ball gets on. This is Chris Carter, the pinch hitter.
It's a lot of home runs, also strikes out a bunch.
Yep.
1-0 pitch.
There's a breaking ball there.
One ball, one strike.
Another slider.
Can't say enough. When Houston is in town, you think about Jeff Luhnow. He ran the draft in conjunction with Cardinals front office, but it's the guys that are making the impact in the lower rounds.
Yeah.
That to me is what has just been amazing about what the Cardinals are doing. These are players that aren't top 5, even top 10 picks.
No, I mean, like I said, that's what your scouts are all about. Is everybody has a system where everybody knows everybody, and it's just the luck of the draw on the top picks. But it's when you get guys in 35th, 41st, you get guys down there. You're finding people. There's luck involved with it, but signing them, give them a chance. And as I said, Blazek's 7th year in the system, out of a high school in Las Vegas.
Also says a lot about not just the draft, but then once you get the players, developing them, and then having the luxury of winning at this level and not having to force them to be maybe exposed at the major league level. You let them develop.
And Dan, a lot of times parents think, oh, my son's drafted, he's going to be a major leaguer. Well, there's a higher percentage of those kids are just filling out rosters for the few prospects because they have to have teammates. And so it's still a far cry. You get drafted that you're going to make it. Right now he's got to find the strike zone.
Brandon Barnes is at the plate. Pirates officially go down, so they lose their ball game. Pittsburgh now 53-36. Cardinals could be up by a game and a half before the night is through.
Something like they've lost 4 of the last 5.
And that'll be 4 in a row. And they're at home. Cincinnati losing at home tonight. That'll be their 3rd in a row. And the Cardinals a chance to win their 4th straight.
Cardinals found out how good Oakland is. So turn around.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Just missed in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kansas City beat the Yankees 3-1. White Sox over Detroit 11-4. Atlanta over Miami 6-4. Tampa Bay beat Minnesota 4-1. Cubs over the Angels 7-2. Pujols did a homer in that game. Phillies over Washington 4-2. Texas beat Baltimore 8-4. Cleveland blanks Toronto 3-0. And everything else is still in action. As we mentioned, Milwaukee defeated Cincinnati 2-0, and the A's over Pittsburgh 2-1. And there's a walk.
Eric Wilquist come out and talk. Get somebody up in the bullpen. He's again pitched since Angel Series on July the 2nd. Keith Butler looks like he's getting ready. Just throw strikes. Elmore, his second plate appearance, 1-for-1 tonight.
Fouled back by Jake Elmore. Strike one. Bases loaded and nobody out. Again, you can buy those seats for the Hall of Fame weekend in San Diego after the All-Star break. That Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ozzie Smith bobblehead. Red Shandy's 1940 jerseys giveaway. And then the statue, replica statue for Stan the Man. Our auction has closed, but if you buy a ticket for that game or games, Cardinals will take $5 and donate that right back to Cardinals Care. So $5 of every one of those tickets sold between now and midnight will go to Cardinals Care. We understand that we surpassed the goal by thousands tonight, the original goal of what they expected for this auction. So thank you to everyone that donated. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals wrap up the homestand tomorrow. Will come your way at 6:30. Shelby Miller looking for win number 10. Jordan Lyles goes for Houston. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we will be in Chicago. Off the end of the bat, little flare out to left, and that drops in for a hit. A run will score, and that makes it 9-2.
Elmore 2 for 2. Drives in. Run. Not very pretty. Breaking ball. Hits it right off the end of the bat, so it's not going to carry out to Shane Robinson. And picks up an RBI. They get their second run. Still 9-2.
And that run charged to Randy Choate. There's a ground ball. Craig to second, and no play back to first, and Scalzo may have taken a spike.
I've been out there like he did.
3-6 on the putout. It is an RBI.
Gets the back leg. You're trying to sweep it. Lays it down on ERA now.
Ball 1 to Jose Altuve. Altuve hits it sharply into left center field. Off the glove of Descalso. Run will score. And now it gets a little interesting here with runners at first and third. Altuve picks up the RBI and a base hit. And it's 9-4.
Hard hit ball. It takes a bad hop. Descalso didn't have much of a shot at that one at all. You got your left-handed bats coming up, and you don't have it. The two lefties have already been used.
Brett Wallace at the plate.
All these Astros had to play against these young Cardinal pitchers in the Pacific Coast League. I'm very familiar with them.
No doubt.
Now Mojica has gotten up.
Nearing a save situation.
One away, one batter away.
That's right.
Another man move in.
One-two pitch. Ground ball, and that is fair. Will step on the bag and get the out. Wallace picks up an RBI. 9-5. Runner at second base. And the hitter will be Castro.
And this is where it gets frustrating when you have to get your closer up. Remember, he's thrown 4 of the last 5 days with yesterday's off day. 4 in a row, the off day.
That's pulled foul. 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
Because the Astros are in the American League now, we didn't have to an American League game.
Got it tonight, didn't we? At least this last inning. And it's 3-2. How about the crowd tonight? Another sold-out crowd.
Outstanding.
Expecting a huge crowd again tomorrow night, though still seats available, and they're on their feet.
See Michael close this one out.
Three-two pitch. Hit down the right field line, and that is foul. Not by much.
Off the side wall, and that forces Mahika to throw a few more pitches.
And Blazek as well. He's at 30 now. Just heard a fan say fun at the old ball yard. That's right. Cardinals leading 9-5 and trying to finish it off right here.
Cruz out to talk to him as Castro's having a lengthy at bat here.
Houston did have a 9-inning game that went 4 hours and 7 minutes already this year.
Really? This one's about 215, 216. I don't think it'll go that far, Dan. I think the Cardinals are going to win right here. This pitch. Over the fans.
Pitching change coming up.
Mike's already called for Mojica, so Blazek can't close it out. Edward Mojica, the Cardinals closer, will have a chance to pick up the save right here. Cardinals lead 9-5. He has saves in 23 of 24. Chance to pick up number 24. 1-1 on the season with a 2.41 ERA. 37 plus innings, just 2 walks and 32 strikeouts, and this is his 38th appearance of the year. It will be a save situation. You got the 2 runners on, and then you have the batter plus the on deck hitter. So as long as that on deck hitter is potentially the tying run, he would be credited with a save if he gets the final out here. A.D. Martinez is 1 for 4 with a home run against Mojica.
How about one pitch and we head home?
I think it's a very good possibility. Except he missed it.
It's too good. Think about the mindset too of a closer. You're up 9-1. Last thing you're thinking about is being put into this game.
But you know, we had this lengthy inning here, so he had the adrenaline flowing. And my experience, Dan, and managers treat relievers a lot better. Instead of pitching 2 or 3 innings down there, they usually don't get you up unless you've got a pretty good chance of getting in there. So as long as you come in and have some game action, I mean, you kind of feel like you've stretched out. If you're just warming up in the bullpen, you're just backing off, and kind of like an engine. You're just running at 45 instead of really getting it, putting the pedal to the metal and letting it fly. So by coming into this ball game, you kind of stretch out a little bit, and it's a lot easier tomorrow.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Mike Matheny did the right thing and getting Yadier Molina out of this game, getting Holiday out of this game, bringing in some extras with the big lead. But you always worry about it when you get into one of these situations.
Three and two.
One hiccup that Enriquez had this year cost a victory to Wainwright. You know he doesn't want to do it. Cost another one. Wainwright trying to win his 12th game. He beat 12-1, or excuse me, 13-1 lifetime against Houston, and trying to win his 12th game this year.
3-2 pitch.
Young Houston Astros, you know, they're just having a little fun. Carefree. Let's go up there. Trying to compete with one of the best teams in the game today.
And that does it. The Cardinals win it 9-5. And they'll look for a sweep tomorrow night. Wainwright picks up the victory, number 12, but Norris takes the loss. And the Cardinals hold on 9-5.
Big team win, because Cincinnati and the Pirates both lose. Cardinals gain ground, but more importantly, they get the 12th win for Adam Wainwright. Another save from Mojica, number 24.
Cardinals win the game. The Cardinals care folks raise a lot of money tonight. We appreciate everyone that donated. Post-game show, Jim Hayes standing by. It's 9-5 our final tonight.